A dancer who's into corporate, or like a corporate who dances, a corporate girl who just happens to dance, a dancer who loves I don't know. Hello, hi, welcome back to another fun episode of All About Yana. Today is gonna be quite a chatty video, so please grab a snack, grab some tea, and come on back. So today, you guys, I'm gonna just quickly take you through my corporate story or my career story, basically just how I learned to boss up and how I became a corporate boss babe. I'm gonna take you through that story. Disclaimer, I'm nowhere near where I wanna be, but I just want to share my story with you. Maybe it'll encourage somebody who's maybe in the same position that I was before I bossed up. So please, we're gonna get right into it. Alrighty, where to begin? I think let me take you back to varsity. Wait, let me take you back to high school real quick. So in high school, when we were all deciding, the career path we wanted to do, the varsities we wanted to apply to, and so on, I was completely clueless. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had changed my career path so often because of the advice that I had received from my guardian, and people older than me that were advising me, and I just changed. I switched up so many times. I just didn't know what I wanted to do anymore. Then one day, this lady walked in the room. I don't remember where we were, but some lady walked in the room and she was just, she just looked, she was so stunning. She walked in and I was just like, when somebody walks in the room and you feel like they have a wind device and lights and just paparazzi, she just looks so amazing. So I just walked up to her and I was like, hi, what do you do for a living? And she basically just let me know that she's an investment banker. At the time, I didn't know what it was. I just knew that's exactly what I'm going to do because I want to look like her. So that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, that's how I chose my career path. And yeah, I started applying to various universities in South Africa. I remember at the time I was applying for BCom. I think it was called BCom Investment Management because they didn't have investment management courses here. So I was applying outside of the country, and at the time the government unfortunately was not able to sponsor me anywhere else but locally. So I ended up going to UB. When I applied to UB, I basically just looked for the course that was closest to what I really wanted to do. I wanted investment management. I was like, okay, finance, I guess, is the closest thing, basically. Okay, so I'll stick to that. And I did finance. I didn't enjoy my time in university, to be frank. I didn't like the way we were taught. I just was not very fond of my school, and I had a really bad attitude towards school. And yeah, it just was not it for me. I didn't enjoy it. Then I think it was third year. If I remember well, third year I wanted to quit. I was just so over it. I was so over it. I wanted to quit, and I remember I had a conversation with my cousin. And I was telling him, like, dude, like, I'm just not feeling it. I want to do my own thing, and maybe apply to a different school, to a different course. I don't know. I just I'm not feeling it. But the thing is, I wanted to quit, and I didn't even know what I wanted to do. Like, should I quit? I didn't know what I wanted to do. So my cousin was just kind of like, you're not going anywhere. You are going to finish your course because you're almost done. You need to at least have something to fall back on. Like whatever it is you want to do, you want to dance, you want to be an entrepreneur, whatever it is you want to do, as soon as you get your degree, you can go ahead and do all those things. But with your degree, you will have something to fall back on just in case it doesn't work out. God forbid it doesn't work out. And I was kind of like, you know what, he's absolutely right. So let me just go ahead and finish, right? It was when I had, I think, one exam left that I booked the youth games. The youth games were basically my first real dance gig, So I'm gonna have to mention like my dance life here and there because it kind of goes hand in hand with my corporate life. Yeah. So yeah, that's when I booked my first gig as a dancer, and I was like, woo, yay, community. And I was training, like my first big gig, imagine I was training with like Somizi, Mopato, these are just amazing people and groups. And yeah, it just kind of gave me this kind of false interpretation of the arts industry here. Like my first gig was big, but after that it was just like, it was just not popping. And they paid us like okay, it wasn't that great, it was okay, but the pay made me think, "Hore, it can only go up from there." But no, after that, it just went lower and lower and lower. And we just, the pay was just so weak. I just kept telling myself, like, girl, you need to get a job because you want to be a boss, babe. So you need like a job, you know? So at the time I was dancing only. That's all I was doing. I was just dancing. And I just was not enjoying myself because the money was just not there, you know? Yeah. Then I got a job as my first official job, I guess, was as a research assistant. I don't know if I can call it a part-time job. Let me call it a flexible job because we got in around 9-ish, and then we just had to do what we needed to do for the day, and then we could leave. And it was perfect because I was able to dance and do the job as well. So the income there was like, oh, okay, yeah, no, cool. It was okay. Then at home, I started getting all this pressure, like, you need to get a proper job, like, you need to get a job, like, proper. You need a good salary, you need to start looking into, buying a car, getting a house, that kind of thing. And I was just kind of like, ugh, leave me alone. I just want to, my life at the time seemed good. I was happy. But yeah, I got all this pressure at home, and I was like, okay, cool, let me look for a job. And it's so funny that the degree that I absolutely hated is exactly what led to me getting my first proper job. At the time, can I mention company names? I think I can because it's on my LinkedIn, right? Yeah. So at the time, I had heard of Alpha Direct because a friend of mine that I worked as a research assistant with actually got a job at Alpha. And that's how I heard about them. Oh, yeah, there's a new insurance company. I was like, okay, cool, interesting. I read that company profile. It seemed like it was going to be a very successful company. Like, I was excited from the minute I read the company profile. I was like, oh, this seems like it's really dope. It's a cool concept. Like, I was all for it, right? So yeah, at the time I saw that they're looking for specifically for finance students for a specific role. So I applied, and the first interview went well. They interviewed in 3 stages. So the first interview went well, then the second interview is like a group interview. So I walked into the group interview and I looked around and I saw all these girls that I was in class with. And let me tell you, I had a bad attitude. They were about school. So obviously they did way better than me. So I literally walked in and I just gave up. I was like, there's absolutely no way I'm gonna get this job because these girls all did so well in school, so much better than me. So I was just kind of like, you know what? Just be yourself, babes. Have fun with the interview. Like, you're not gonna get it anyway. Might as well just have fun. And I think that's exactly what I guess made them like me. I was just myself. I was just having fun with the challenges and everything that they gave us. And I got the job. I was so shocked. I was like, okay. So my first role at Alpha, they called me junior claims underwriter. That's what I was called. I was a junior claims underwriter. So basically, I'm fresh out of varsity. I don't really know. I've been working as a research assistant. The only thing that I learned from my previous job was really just customer service. I learned so much about customer service from that job. So at this point, I don't really know what I'm doing, to be frank. Luckily, there was a senior claims underwriter there to guide me, but she was so strict. Hey, woo, that lady was strict, okay? I remember my first day, she gave me files. She was like, this is all I heard. And then I said to her, pardon, like, huh? I'm trying to grab my notebook, like, ma? And she was like, Hari hira bana ba finance. Ne re batla go hira bana ba botlhale. Right? Go botlhale. So do it. Hey, guys. My trust. Whew. Like, that couldn't get any worse. That was the first day of first week. I don't really remember. That first week, I was introduced to the CEO as well. And I remember sitting there and he asked me a question. And let me tell you, I knew the answer. But I choked. And I just started rambling. Somewhere along my ramble, I did not produce the answer. And when I was done, he just looked at me and he went, let me give you a tip. If somebody asks you something and you don't know, just say you don't know. Ooh. Chest pains. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna prove myself. I am going to prove myself. I'm going to show you guys that you didn't make the wrong decision by hiring me. So yeah, if there was a thing that was to be done to acquire information, I did it. I was reading, I was researching, I was calling people on the phone that are in the industry, asking them like, how do you do this? How do you do that? Help me with this, help me with that. Like, I was doing any and everything that I could do to make sure that I have the right information to do my job, basically. So I worked my butt off. Then I think it was after a month, my boss was like, deuces. She got a better job somewhere else, I think, I presume. I don't know. She left. And we were basically left to fend for ourselves. And they started hiring more people in the department, but we were all like at the same level, basically. It was just really, really hard because we were all basically reporting to the CEO now because our manager had been cut off. But basically reporting to the CEO, and he just took no BS. Okay, he kept us on our toes like all the time. Then what happened? I think after a year and a half is when I got my first promotion. I became the senior claims underwriter. That's what they called me. And I think at the time I was 24. This is now 2016, I believe. 2016. Yeah, so I became a senior at 24, and that really was like, OMG, I can do so much. Da, 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 da. I really thought like I was the girl. I was so ready for like anything, basically. Then work just got super, super, super toxic. Yeah, it was roundabout after my promotion. Work just, it was terrible. It just became this horrible place to work. Like, we used to have so much fun. Everything used to be so amazing. Then it just became so toxic, and I went from loving my job to just absolutely hating it. I didn't want to be there. I just hated it so much. So I just kind of was not performing to my like best abilities. The girl I was when I got in, who was like on like every single thing, everything just went like just so quick. I hated it so much, and I basically just started applying to any job, like any post I see in the newspaper, I would apply. That's how bad I wanted to exit. I was applying for jobs that were basically even just not supervisor jobs, just not senior jobs, just anything. I just wanted out. I was just like, I want out. So my current employer contacted me. Oh my goodness, I need to tell the story real quick. It's so funny that every time I'm about to like give up, something happens. I remember something happened at work, and I was so fed up. I was done. And I went to my friend Gemma's office, and I was telling her what's happening, and I was telling her like, I'm done. So I was so ready, like when I talk about it, I still get so touched. I was so ready to just quit, go home, and do absolutely nothing. I was ready. I was just like, I'm done. I'm not playing these games no more. And as I'm packing up my desk, getting ready to go home and write my resignation letter, bloop bloop, email at 10. It's an offer letter from my current employer. Hey. I was like, amen. Amen. If anybody has ever been in a toxic situation, you'd understand how that felt. That was just such an amazing feeling. I was so happy to leave. But yeah, it was an offer letter for what was my post? I was a claims negotiator, so it's way below what I was doing, but I just wanted out, so I took it. The pay was also less, but listen, I just wanted out. And I convinced myself that, listen, you can take a step back in order to take maybe 5 steps forward, right? So I got there and I was like, listen, when I get there, I'm gonna prove myself again. I'm gonna be the girl again. I'm gonna be that girl who's like, hey, 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 you know, and they're gonna promote me. Got to my current employer. I got there, I was pushing for about a year and a half, and it just was not happening for me. I was just kind of like, you know what else can I do? Because it was just so painfully easy. Imagine I was senior, now I'm just a girl. So it was just so, everything was just painfully easy for me, and it just got boring so quick. But I was just grateful that I was, in an environment that was just not toxic, and everything. I was just happy, like I was genuinely happy at work all the time. And I was just kind of like, let me just, like, I have a lot of time to think, what can I do? I started doing a lot of things in the office, like I would say, yo, we need somebody to blah blah blah, I'll do it. We need somebody to, I'll do it. I started doing a bunch of things at work, but that was just not enough to occupy my brain. My brain wanted to work, So I was like, let me, since my company is like not looking to develop me right now, let me develop myself. So I went back to school, and I went back to school, and then I started my companies as well. And yeah, that's what I did. And then towards the end of last year, it had been like a year and a half now at that company. I was just kind of like, you know what, actually it's cool. Let me just go ahead and just leave. Let me leave. And again, as I'm about to give up, something happened, and I was offered a new post this year. I started in April, so I'm still new to the post right now, so I'm not gonna discuss it. I'll tell you about it after I settle into the role. After I settle into the role, I'll tell you about it. But yeah, that's basically my corporate story. Is I was a boss. I was, and I had to take a step back for my own sanity. But I'm glad I did, because I am now a proud owner of three businesses, so I can't really complain, I'm grateful. But yeah, that's my story. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.